Hello, today I'm going to show you how to use pointers in the C++ program. A pointer is a variable which holds an address of another variable. So let's take these examples. Let's write a C++ program which allows to input float values and then print out their sum, average, and product using pointers. Let's see how to proceed it. We are going to use Dev C++ as a compiler editor. Let's open Dev C++ to run this program and compile it. We click File, New, Source File. Now, I start by including iStream, include iStream, this is preprocessor directive. So this is a declaration of standard input and output functions or library functions. Let me insert main function. Now we are going to declare the variables which will be used in this program. Let me declare a variable called, let me use float variables. I can declare the variable called num1, num2, and sum, average, and product. Those are the variables that will be used in this program. So num1 will hold the value of 4, the first value. Num2 will hold the value of 4, second value. Sum will be a variable for the sum of two numbers. Then average will be the variable that will hold the value of average, and prod is a variable that will hold the product of num1 and num2. Now I need to use pointers in this program. To declare the pointer, I write star. Let me call this pointer p num1. Num1 will be a pointer which will hold the address of num1. Then let me declare another pointer called p num2. It will be also having star. Normally, when you want to declare a pointer, you start by its data type star, then the name of the pointer. I also want to declare another pointer called let me declare another pointer called average or FG. Another one is star prod or product. So another one will be called, let me call it sum. So sum here is also a variable that will hold the address of sum. But as we are going to see how to use pointers in our program, so normally here I can say, now I can say, let me prompt the user. Let's prompt the message that the user will see before he or she enters the variable, the two values. Let's say cout, enter two values, enter two numeric values. Feed these values into num1 and num2. Computer will read them into num1 and num2. The first value will be kept num1, the second will be kept num2. Now, how can I find the sum? Here, before we use any kind of pointer, we have to show where the pointer are pointing. Let me say, for example, the pointer P num1 will hold address of num1. This is the pointer that is to assigning the address of num1 to the pointer P num1. Let's also, because I cannot use any single statement showing how pointer is used to hold address of num1 without this line. So this line is very important before you operate pointers on the variables. Now we can say P num2, it is the pointer. This is the pointer that will hold the address of num2. Now I can also assign the address of the variable sum to the variable the pointer sum. I can say, or let me call it p sum, right? I can say p sum equals the address of sum, which means the address of variable sum will be held by the pointer p sum. I show automatically where the pointer p sum will point, or the address that this pointer will hold. Now I can say p product. Let me call it p product. Let me change a bit here. I can say p product is the average, the pointer. That's the pointer that will hold maybe the address of product, as it is mentioned there. Then let me say PAVG. PAVG is a pointer which will hold the address of maybe average, as it is mentioned here. Now this is to assign address of variables to pointers. This block shows how you can assign address of variables to pointers. Now let's see how to make calculations by using these pointers. I can now say sum. I can use two ways. One can be like this. I cannot say sum will be equal to num1 plus num2. That's the sum. Then this average will be equal to sum over 2. Sum divided by 2. Then this prod, the variable prod, will be equal to num1 times num2. Now, how can I use these pointers to print the values of these variables, the content of variable sum, variable average, and variable product? Let's see how to use these pointers to print out their values. I can say now here, cout. I can say the sum of num1 and num2 equal. Now, how can I print out the content of sum using its pointer here, right? I can say sum here. I write P, but I use star. I write star P sum. So this star P sum, the star P sum shows the star P sum shows the content where this pointer holds the address, the content of the location that this pointer holds the address. So this is how you can use the pointer to print out the content of the variable that the pointer is pointing. Now let's also print out the product. You can say the product of num1 and num2 equals let me use now the pointer P product to print out its content, the content of prod. I just write star, then the pointer name. Let me also print the average. I can say cout the average of num1 and num2 equals content of average. Now let me use this pointer average to print out the content of that variable average. I can write star then P average. So star P average shows the content where this P average is pointing. So you can use just pointer to print or to show the content of the location that this pointer is holding the address. So P average normally points on this variable average. So to print the content of average, I can use its pointer in this way. Now let me end the main function and run our program. Let's compile and run it. Execute, compile and run. So it is going to show me where I can save it. Let me save it this folder. Let me call it pointer program. I can click save. Now the program has run because there's no error here. I can just run it as you're seeing here. Let me run it. Let me enter two numbers. Let me enter 4.90. Let me enter 28. When I press enter, they show me the sum of this value has been a content of num1 and num2. So the content of num2 equals to the content of sum. Actually, you see that what has replaced star sum, it is this value, as you're seeing, the same case here, even here. Now, this is the program that you can write when you use pointers to find the sum, average, and product of two numbers. Now, we are going to see now. Let's see. So our program ends like this. Now let's let's if it's gonna run. Yeah, it's running. You can even start for the. Now let me change a bit something here, right? Instead of writing this way, I can also use the pointers of the variables here to find the sum. Okay, I can replace these three lines by, I can say, sorry. Yes, let me replace these three lines by the following statement. I can also say, okay, let me use this pointer, the sum. I can say sum equals 2. Remember here we have a pointer called pnum1. I can use this pointer to make these calculations. I can write star num1 plus star num2. This is also the way you can calculate the sum of numbers by using the pointers. Normally, this is the content where sum is pointing, and this is the content of the location where num1 is pointing. This is the content of the location where num2 is pointing. You can also write like star p average equals to star p sum over 2. You can use it the same way. You can also write star product equals to pnum1 times num2 times p num2. This will be the same way that we can write our program. So let's now run and compile. I think here there is an error. Let me. Okay. Let's run and compile. Okay, I think we have the same case. So let me input that 4.5. We have the same result. This line, these two lines here, the two lines three lines here work in the same way like before. You can just see it's working the same way. Yes, we have the same way. Okay.